to reaffirm what the values of liberal democracy, and the media has a very important role to play in that respect.
It's very important to have people who challenge your assumptions. And some of it is people who come from different backgrounds, who come from different parts of the countries, who have different racial identities. And some of it's from people who have different political identities, not just because you want to reach a broader audience, but because if you talk to too narrow a set of reporters, you get the story wrong.
The book does sort of talk not just about a crisis of capitalism, but of a crisis of liberal democracy. I think America has just about survived a very big test in January.
I feel like there are a lot of people heading in the right direction on the most important questions, but there are still so many fundamental things going in the wrong direction, right? So the US-China dynamic, which is by far the most important bilateral relationship in the world, it will determine whether there will be a conflict between the US and China, which could be destructive to all of humanity. It's a pretty big issue. It is clearly going in the wrong direction. There was not a reset that I would have been particularly happy with the Biden administration. It seems to be continuing Trump's policy. I hate, one of the big articles we wrote at Wired was the tech split between the United States and China, the fear that the internet economy will be split into two different spheres, one dominated by the West, one dominated by the East. That is a catastrophe. It is a particular catastrophe as we move into a world dominated by artificial intelligence.
We are entering a new age. In fact, we probably already have. It's very, very different from both the static sort of nuclear standoff and wars by proxy that we saw during the Cold War, where the US and the Soviet Union were the great powers, to a world where now, a hegemonic world after the Cold War. The new world is one where the US is still the superpower, but has lost quite a bit of its moral standing. It's been bloodied. It's lost a lot of its treasure by the wars in the Middle East, the whole war on terror, and it got distracted while the second superpower in waiting, China, became more and more powerful.
The challenge will be, how do we get back to the point where there's technological sharing, where there's technological cohesion, and where there's competition, where the world doesn't split into two, where you have a Cold War, where you have a Chinese tech stack with surveillance built in, and Chinese infrastructure and Chinese software, and a Western sphere. That is what we do not want, and we are very much heading in that direction, but there's still time to get off that road.